Did you know that the dream of making nuclear energy cheap and safe for ordinary people was once seen by a daughter of Egypt? And then, one day, she died in a mysterious accident. The question is, was it really an accident, or was it a conspiracy? Today, I am going to tell you the story of a woman who dreamed of turning nuclear power from a weapon of war into a light of peace. A woman who once said, "One day, this power will reach ordinary people and help cure diseases." But then, one day she left this world in a mysterious accident. Was it truly an accident, or was it part of a bigger conspiracy? Today we set out to find the answer to this question. Often, when we hear the words nuclear power, what comes to our mind is the destruction of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We see the fire, the smoke, and we hear the screams that rose after the atomic bombs fell. The world turned nuclear power into a weapon of war. But do you know that there was a woman who saw a different dream about nuclear power? This is the story of Sameera Moussa, who once said, "Nuclear power does not have to be a fear for humanity, it can become its light." Sameera Moussa was a daughter of Egypt. At a time when even stepping out of the house was considered wrong for girls, she completed her education in physics and mathematics. She decided she would step into the world of science to prove to the world that a woman is not weak, and that if your determination is strong, no power in the world can stop your dreams. She began her research on nuclear power with a dream that nuclear power would not be used for wars and destruction, but for peace. She thought, what if nuclear power could be used to treat diseases? What if this power could be used to fight deadly diseases like cancer? How much of a blessing it could become for the world. Sameera used to say, "I want nuclear power to reach every poor person so that no mother has to watch her child die, so that no one dies without treatment just because they are poor." But friends, the path for those who dream big is never easy. The powerful fear that if nuclear power reaches ordinary people, how will they maintain their control and rule? When Sameera went to America to research nuclear power, and started finding ways to make treatment cheap, the powerful forces of the world became afraid. She spoke about making nuclear power cheap and safe, and about giving this knowledge freely to everyone. But one day, in America, Sameera Moussa died in a mysterious car accident. Some say it was an accident, but many believe it was a conspiracy to stop the knowledge and power she wanted to bring to the world. Today, Sameera Moussa has left us with this lesson. Power in itself is not evil, it is up to us how we choose to use it. If you have a dream in your heart, if you want to make the world better, you will face challenges. People will try to stop you, but you must not stop. You must protect your dream, because if a woman from a conservative society in Egypt could change the way the world looked at nuclear power, you too can find your purpose in life. Friends, Sameera Moussa gave this message to the world. True power is that which is used for the good of humanity. If it brings destruction, it is not power, it is devastation. Today, we must use our knowledge, our power, and our decisions for the good of the world, because that is true success. We all dream, but only those dreams become reality that are backed by courage. Today, I am going to share with you the story of a daughter of Egypt who broke the chains of a conservative society and stepped into the world of science, proving to the world that if a daughter decides to rise, she can change the entire world. This is the story of Sameera Moussa. It was a time when, in Egypt, it was difficult for a woman to even step outside her home. Pursuing education was hard, and entering the field of science was considered impossible. But Sameera grew up watching her mother suffer from illness. She saw how people died due to the lack of affordable treatment. This pain settled deep in her heart, and she made a promise to herself she would enter the field of science and try to make treatment easier and more accessible for people. But friends, society used to say, "She's a girl, what will she do in a laboratory? What will these books give her? She should just get married and manage a home." But Sameera ignored all these voices. Her father supported her, giving her the courage to study. But societal pressure, the words of relatives, and the taunts of people kept coming her way daily. People would say, "What's the use of a girl studying science? That's a field for men." But Sameera did not lose hope. She scored top marks in mathematics and physics and later enrolled in Cairo University, where she began her research in nuclear physics. Imagine, at that time in Egypt, for a girl to enter the field of science was like walking on thorns. People laughed, people talked, people tried to block her path. But Sameera would say, "I remember my mother's face, and it reminds me why I began this journey." Friends, when your dreams are big, the challenges that come your way are also big. But if your purpose is clear, your intentions are pure, and your heart is filled with the desire to serve humanity, then Allah opens the paths for you. After completing her education, Sameera Moussa showed the world that a daughter can succeed in the world of science. She began her research on using nuclear power for the treatment of diseases. She said, "Power is not meant for war, it should be used for the betterment of humanity." This was her success, but it was not an easy success. She faced societal pressure and financial challenges, but her courage did not let her bow down. And this, friends, is the message: if you do not stand up for your dreams, society will stop you. If a daughter like Sameera Moussa could advance in the world of science in a society like Egypt, then you too can stand up for your dreams. Today, if you are seeing difficulties in your life, if you feel disheartened by people's words, remember Sameera's story. Those who choose the difficult paths are the ones who have decided to reach their destination. You too can reach your destination. Just continue your journey with courage, knowledge, and sincerity. When people hear the word nuclear power, the first thing that comes to their minds is the fear of war, bombings, fire, explosions, and destruction. But there was a woman who dreamed of using nuclear power for peace and for the treatment of diseases. This is the story of Sameera Moussa, who made the world realize that the true use of power is for the welfare of humanity. After completing her education in Egypt, Sameera developed a deep desire to work alongside the world's top scientists so she could find ways to use nuclear power for the good of humanity. For this purpose, she traveled to America. Remember, friends, this was during a time when a daughter of Egypt traveling to America for research was a huge achievement in itself. It was a time when girls were not allowed to pursue higher education. Sameera broke these barriers and began her journey toward her purpose. When Sameera arrived in America, she started researching nuclear power in some of the best laboratories there. Her goal was not to gain military power, but to find ways to use nuclear energy to make treatment for cancer and other deadly diseases more affordable. She used to say, "My dream is to turn nuclear power from a weapon into a source of healing. I want this power to reach every poor person who cannot afford treatment." During her research in America, she discovered several methods that could reduce the cost of using nuclear power and make it accessible for the treatment of common people. But friends, it was not easy. The powerful nations, including America, wanted to keep nuclear power under their control to maintain their dominance. They did not want this knowledge and power to reach ordinary people, because if it did, their control and authority would weaken. When Sameera Moussa completed her research in America and announced that she wanted to share this knowledge freely, enabling poor nations to use nuclear power for the treatment of their people, it did not sit well with some powerful people. They saw that this daughter of Egypt was returning with the knowledge of the truth about nuclear power and its affordable uses, a knowledge that could change the balance of power in the world. Unfortunately, Sameera Moussa's journey ended there. One day in America, she died in a mysterious car accident. Some say it was an accident, but many believe it was a planned conspiracy to prevent that knowledge and that dream from reaching the world. Friends, Sameera Moussa's story teaches us, if your purpose is to serve humanity, there will be obstacles and conspiracies along the way, but true success lies in staying committed to your purpose. Through her knowledge and research, Sameera gave us this messaging: the true use of nuclear power is not destruction, but healing. If we adopt her thinking today, the world could see fewer wars, fewer diseases, and humanity could find peace. Her sacrifice teaches that the true use of power is only in serving humanity. If a daughter of Egypt could go to America and change the world's perception of nuclear power, you too can bring positive change to the world through your knowledge and your purpose. Sometimes, people are born in this world whose dreams have the power to change thousands of lives. But this light of their dreams often exposes the darkness of the powerful, and then these powers begin to conspire to extinguish that light. This is the story of Sameera Moussa, who dreamed of making nuclear power affordable for the common people. But the question is, was this acceptable to the powerful? Sameera Moussa was the first female nuclear scientist of Egypt. Her dream was that nuclear power should not be used as a weapon of war, but as a means to cure diseases and promote peace. She once said, "My mission is to make nuclear power accessible to every poor person so that no life ends due to poverty and disease." When Sameera went to America, she conducted research on making the use of nuclear power safe and affordable. She discovered methods that could reduce the cost of treatments using nuclear energy. But friends, the powerful nations of the world wanted to keep nuclear power in their own hands to maintain control over the world. If Sameera Moussa returned with her knowledge and these methods reached Egypt and other poor nations, the grip of these powers could weaken. Then one day, on August 15, 1952, a mysterious car accident occurred in America, in which Sameera Moussa lost her life. It is said that she was invited under the pretext of visiting a laboratory, and on the way, her car fell into a deep valley. The question arises, was it truly an accident, or was it a conspiracy? Because after that incident, her research, her dreams, and all her hard work came to an end. All of this happened at a time when Sameera was about to return to Egypt and begin a program to make the use of nuclear power affordable in her country. Friends, Sameera Moussa's life teaches us that if you set out to do something good, if you wish to serve humanity, powerful forces will try to stop you. They fear that if knowledge reaches the common people, if treatment becomes affordable, if the fear of nuclear power ends, their control will end. But Sameera's sacrifice gives us messaging. A person walking on the path of truth and knowledge may die, but their dream never dies. Even today, if we use nuclear power to serve humanity, if we choose to share knowledge instead of restricting it, if we keep Sameera's dream alive, we can remove fear and disease from this world. Friends, the question is not whether it was an accident or a conspiracy. The real question is, what are we doing today? Are we also trying to keep knowledge and power limited to ourselves? Or do we wish to use it for the benefit of humanity? If Sameera Moussa's dream stays alive, this world can become a cradle of peace. Let us promise today that we will turn knowledge into power, and power into peace and the welfare of humanity, because this is true success, and this is the message of Sameera Moussa. Today, I have come to speak to you about a truth. Dreaming is easy, but walking the path of your dreams is hard. In this world, every person who has dreamed big has faced challenges along the way. Criticism, poverty, loneliness, and trials so heavy they shake the heart. But remember, it is these very dreams that change the world. This is the story of Sameera Moussa. She dreamed that nuclear power would be used for peace, not for war. She dreamed that treatment for diseases like cancer would become affordable and accessible for all. But to reach that dream, she had to face the obstacles of a conservative society in Egypt, financial struggles, the mockery of people, and above all, her life ended due to a conspiracy. Friends, when your dreams are big, the challenges will also be big. But you must not stop, because the world changes only because of those who continue to stand by their dreams despite the difficulties. People used to say, what can a girl do with nuclear power? But Sameera used to say, I will turn nuclear power into healing. She said, don't dream only for yourself, dream for the benefit of humanity, and this is the true lesson of her life. Today, if we want to do something big, we must understand that the difficult paths are the ones that lead to true success. Every obstacle you face is a test of your courage. If you get scared and give up, the world will remain the same. But if you stand firm, the world will change. Every great person who has come into this world has endured hardships for the sake of their dreams. Thomas Edison created the light bulb after thousands of failed experiments. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison for the dream of his country's freedom. Allama Iqbal inspired the youth to dream so the chains of slavery could be broken. All of them teach us that it is not enough to simply dream. You must also pay the price for your dreams. Sameera Moussa's story gives us this message. If your dreams are for the welfare of humanity, Allah will help you, even if people turn against you. Friends, this world belongs to those who dare to dream. Those who get scared by challenges and sit down in defeat never change history. But those who do not let go of their dreams even during hardships are the ones who change the destiny of the world. Just like Sameera Moussa, we too must believe in our dreams, stand up for them, and continue to move forward despite the difficulties. Remember, a dream that lives in your eyes can open the eyes of the world. So, dream big, and work for those dreams, because one day, these dreams will change your world, and change the world.